So, boss, we're going to stay with you because something that was a little bit outside of the ring, but it is fodder for conversation, and that is we saw I'm not going to say inebriated, but somebody that was kind of feeling himself and feeling good. We saw
he was inebriated.
CHARLO.
Whenever we see CHARLO in front of, if there's cameras recording, if there are microphones, and he's talking, this nigga's on fucking, he's on lean, he's on Hennessy,
allegedly.
He's on something.
Allegedly,
yes.
I think that's just his personality. I don't think it's.
I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far. But
I will.
With that said, I would say with Randy, I wouldn't say that's just his personality. But what I would say is that he called out Dimitri BIVOL, came up to him and said, "I want to fight you. Do you want to fight me?" And BIVOL was kind of, he understands English and takes it in.
I don't think BIVOL recognized him at first.
Yeah, and he was trying to.
I thought people thought he was some.
You could see, like, and that's why you could kind of see his brain kind of like working. He was kind of going through the motions, like, okay, what's going on here right now?
Who is this crazy black man?
Yeah, and then so he, he didn't turn down the fight, but he essentially said, yeah, let's, and then he said what weight class. So that's why I think that he, maybe at first he didn't, but at one point he recognized who it was, and he was just like, okay. It's one of the, these loud talking CHARLO brothers. Then he was just like, then he was just kind of like,
drunk ass CHARLOs.
Yeah. Then he was like, well, what weight class? And then CHARLO suggested 168. And then from there he was like, well, you have belts there, because he's like, me, like I want to be unified, but if I'm not going to be unified, I'm chasing hardware. So do you think this is something, a little bit of nothing? Or should we just
this is more bullshit. This is all nothing. This is just a guy who has been inactive for close to 2 years, who most of his fan base has forgotten about. Whatever little fan base he had, they've forgotten about him. He's a guy that's become very, very close to being irrelevant, an irrelevant title holder in the sport. He was given some kind of exception by the WBC. I don't know why. According to Mauricio Suleiman, he was injured. He didn't look injured to me walking around. He still could be. But now this is more the same bullshit from Jermall Charlo, not to be mistaken with his undisputed twin brother, Jermell Charlo. More the same shit. I mean, why are you sitting there trying to make a fight with a guy who is signed to DAZN, who fights 2 weight classes above yours? Well, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. The other thing is, why are you trying to pick a fight with a guy who you want to come down to 168 when you could have been made a fight with David Benavidez at 168? That fight could have been made a year and a half ago, but you were so adamant about being a 160-pound fighter. It's just more nonsense. And as entertaining as it is for about 5 minutes after the video drops, it quickly turns from, haha, look at Jermall Charlo, to like, yo, I wish this guy would just shut the fuck up and go away. Like, honestly, if you're not going to get in the ring and fight, vacate and go. If you got outside the ring shit that's going on, like drop the belt, go handle whatever you got to handle outside the ring, get right, and then come back and fight people. Like, don't sit here and try to clout chase, right? Because that's what that is. You clout chasing a guy who is at the top of his game right now, and you are not even in the game, essentially. So
yeah, and just for record, he's never fought above 160 pounds, and I don't, why would you kind of test yourself out against somebody who is, I think, going to enter into the top pound for pound boxing realm. But so, Coach, what do you think about Jermall Charlo's call out? Do you think that this was a good look, or just more of what we've kind of known from the Charlos, who can kind of make a lot of noise and make a lot of scene outside of the ring, but haven't done too much inside of it lately?
Hey, well, man, I think Jared hit it on the head, man. I mean, I guess the only amplifying remarks that I would have in that to kind of go along with what Jared said, man, is, you know, if you're trying to reestablish some relevance, honestly, which I think he needs to do, beyond relevance, beyond name recognition is what I'm getting at.
Mm-hmm.
To Jared said, get in there and fight. I mean, who is in that division still that he can link up with and still show, you know, I still have the skills, I'm still relevant in my current division, instead of trying to reach across the ocean in terms of weight classes and try to get your relevance. I think Jared hit it on the head in terms of clout chasing.
So I was looking at the height. He's actually taller than BIVOL. He's at 6'1". BIVOL is even 6 feet. And if you looked at him, you know, CHARLO probably was even a little bit bigger. Do you think that he can still safely make the middleweight division, the middleweight weight limit, I should say?
It might be tough for him, man. I mean, I know Jared really be watching that stuff a lot, man. But I think it might be tough for him, man. And I don't have his box rec up in front of me, man. But has he fought guys like? Did he fight Munguia yet?
No. Remember they tried to make that fight, Dave, and no. To in Charlo's defense, it seemed like Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy folks wanted broadcast rights. So no. Short answer to your question, Dave, is no. They tried to make that fight happen, and the Munguia Charlo fight fell through. And then
who was the cat from Brazil, man?
There's a guy, Patrick Tomatesh. Esquiva Falsao.
Hold on. Is that who it is?
There's a guy at 160 pounds named Esquiva Falsao.
Okay,
who's a top-ranked fighter.
So I get, and right, man. I don't know who he belonged to, and I'm just thinking through the stuff, man. And so that's
Adames. Adames is the fight to make. That's the guy who went to the WBC, who petitioned to become the mandatory. And Mauricio
that's the fight. I mean, that's the fight he ain't gonna be able to shake, because that dude is on his ass like a pit.
Then that shows the relevance of my point. Then my point of it is, which supports your point, bro, is to hell with this clout chasing. Who can you fight in your division that you can make that fight can be easily made, that you can reestablish your relevance beyond a historical name and what you've done? That's my thing, if that makes sense, man.
So, but at the same point, not to be a apologist, I don't think that Adames fight answers that call, answers that bell. You know, Gennady Golovkin isn't going to fight him. And now it's looking like Janibek might not want to fight him either. But he's still trying to save face. So what if you're Charlo? What do you do? So he called him out. He called somebody out. Like, so Canelo already said that he's not fighting. He's not going to ask for a BIVOL fight until late 2023. If Charlo thinks that he can slide into that May time frame, then so be it. If he's bold enough to jump up to 168 and fight him then so be it. I tell you what would be an interesting fight card to make. You've got Jamel getting ready to fight Tim Tszyu. What if you paired him with Jamal and had Jamal fight this guy, Michael Zarafa? Zarafa, who's the number 2 guy in the IBF, who is also an Australian. Maybe you put the fight in Australia.
We might. So this, right. Remember when this was a couple of weeks, on the 9th of November. So maybe about 3 weeks ago, when the WBC put out their mandatories, they currently had Jamal Charlo sidelined due to injury. They said once he is fit, his mandatory the interim title is Adames. So he needs to just, first of all, he needs to get off of get out the sideline at this point and declare that
he said he's going to be back in February. So
that's a bad fight. He don't want to run in there with Adames off of a 2-year layoff. That's the wrong guy to run into there off of a layoff. Adames will fuck him up.
You think so?
Adames is all kinds of awkward. He's a southpaw, and as our friend of the show, Willie Monroe, confirmed, and what I've been saying for a long time now, is that Jamal Charlo struggles with southpaws. And Adames is a switch hitter, but I believe he starts fights in the southpaw position. He's got power. He's awkward. That ain't the guy you want coming off a layoff. He needs a tune-up, and we will probably see him in there against Machai Seletsky in February. The fight that they tried to make in the summer, I believe, and they canceled the fight because of this phantom injury that Jamal Charlo had, although he was seen in the club shortly after the fight was canceled. But whatever, that's the fight we will most likely get. Machai Seletsky is a PBC guy, represented by Aegis Klimas, but has always fought PBC, I believe. Well, not always, but that's the fight they tried to make in the summer. That's the fight we're probably going to see. We're probably going to see Machai Seletsky.
So, all right, this is your man, Professor Nim, signing off for Coach Dave. The Casual Ran and Boston Jared.
Peace.
Thank y'all for popping in for another popping episode.
Like and subscribe. Don't just watch and not push the like button, man. Y'all niggas
hate. And comment too. Don't be scared. If you got something to say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Right.
Say it with your chest.
That's right. I will respond too.
If I feel like I'm gonna respond to your ass.